Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're jumping back into DC Worlds Collide and we're going to talk about gearing. There's been a lot of questions over the last few weeks about which gear sets are good, which gear sets go on which characters. Is HP good? Is the heal set good? What about the crit set and speed? So many different questions in Discord as well as YouTube comments and everything. So I put this video together. Hopefully it's helpful. There is a ton to discuss, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about this. We're going to go back and forth between the game and my handy dandy spreadsheet, but I've been doing quite a bit of work on it. So let's go ahead and pop the spreadsheet up here really quick. I will have a snapshot of this on my Discord as well if you want to head over there and take a look at it. Right now, all I've done is I've given my suggestions for the S+, S, and A+ characters on the tier list right now. I will work through the rest of the list. But I felt there was enough information here to get it out to all of you to help answer a lot of those different questions. So just to kind of break down the sheet here, I've got the different gear pieces and the stats right here and what's available for each one of them. There are some that I'm missing, so if you've got some of this information to help fill it in for me, that would be great. But here are the stats that are static or stats that are variable on each piece, right? So this is static from what I can tell so far for the headpiece. You're always going to get attack bonus, and crit. It's that fourth stat on the epic gear that you're either going to get block break, block, or HP bonus. Those are the only three that I've seen on there so far. Shoulders, static is defense, and armor piercing. And then that fourth stat. Right now, all I know is block break and HP bonus. I think there's probably a third in there maybe. I don't know for chest yet, but you can see the rest of it. I think this is super helpful to see it this way so you can start planning as far as your 4-piece and 2-piece sets. Which sets do you want to have crit? So if you got a crit set, I think there's only 3 pieces on here that have crit. You've got the headpiece has crit. Let's see, the accessory here has crit. You can get double crit actually on the accessory. And then I think, no, there's no crit on the comms that I've seen so far. So there's only a few that have crit. You've got a bunch that have block and block break. So I think it's a good look to plan. And then I broke out the different sets here. There's a lot of questions about heal and about speed. So I reached out to a buddy of mine, Reaper, who helped me out with a couple questions that I had specific to speed and the heal set. Heal doesn't work like a heal set typically does. This is based off of crit. So it's a heal crit, 5 to 10%. So 5 for 2-piece and 10% for a 4-piece. So chance of defensive crit when casting heals or shields, so it works for shields as well. Defensive crit is similar to crit. It always enhances, it enhances your heals and your shields. Now, when we take a look at that, I'll just, let's see, pull up Kid Flash right here. I still have him in a heal set for a 4-piece and 2-piece attack. The reason for that is because I did a bunch of tests between the heal set and then just a straight up attack. And at least right now, I didn't see a huge difference. Maybe that's going to come into play a little bit later. I'm going to continue to do some more testing on that, but I really didn't see much of a difference between that. So I've got heal here for the 4-piece. For the 2-piece, I have attack because his heals are based on his attack. So you want to have that attack there. Even with this heal right here, you can get your substats. Go for the substats that give you attack and attack bonus. So each one of these, you can see attack, HP, speed, what it does, what it gives you. When we talk about crit, there were some questions about crit as well. Like with Wonder Woman, why do we suggest crit over attack? So for like Wonder Woman here, I've got crit from a 4-piece. I did change it around because I did have that attack and crit before, but now I have it as crit for your 4-piece and attack as your 2-piece because the increased amount of crit that you have, you get some damage reduction. We'll take a look at her in just a second. But when we take a look at this, the crit right here, I did some testing. That's what this grid right here is. This is a green arrow testing. I was in System Recovery 10-6, ran that a few times, so 3 times each. This is my damage right here using a 4-piece attack set on green arrow. He's right here. Attack right there. And then on crit, it was more steady. It was weird. Crit is kind of more of a percent chance, but the damage there, 423, 13, and 12, was much more closely aligned than the 432, the 318, the 387, which was kind of all over the board, right? It's kind of sporadic. These were more, much more closer together. So definitely did more damage just running the 3 rounds with Crit as your 4-piece and Attack as your 2-piece for Green Arrow. And also with that Crit set that I have is a lower enhanced set than the Attack set that I had. So the Attack set was actually better, and it didn't do as much. This first one I had 432. I think that was a fluke, an RNG fluke, because then we stayed in the 300s after that. So it's definitely a good thing to take a look at most of your DPS and see if your DPS would benefit more from Crit than from Attack. So definitely want to take a look at your kits that way. But let's run through a few of these here really quick. So Crit, if we just bring up Wonder Woman here, we take a look. This is why Crit is so good for Wonder Woman. Right here, during battle, every 1% Crit she has grants 0.3% damage reduction up to 20%. So you want to get that Crit up there so you can max out that damage reduction. But look at this here. Throws the lasso of truth at an enemy in the back row, dealing physical damage equal to 180% of her attack. If the damage crits, there's a 60% chance to inflict silence for 2 turns. So the higher damage, the higher crit percent you have, the more opportunity you have to crit, which means the more opportunity you have to silence. So just does really well. Plus she does just a massive amount of damage anyway. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk about another one that I have on here. Let's see. Lex, I've got HP and speed. So there's some questions about speed as well. It definitely comes into play with some of the characters because obviously it allows them to move up on the action bar. And there are times where you can get them to go twice in 1 round, which is good. So what I really look for in that, let's go ahead. Let's go take a look at Lex. Take a look at Lex's kit right here. Really what I look at are these, the basic attacks and the advanced attacks. So what I like is this one right here, this advanced attack. So if you have a speed on it, rallies allies together in which the ally with the highest attack, so in my team, my main team right now, that's going to be Wonder Woman, uses a basic attack on an enemy. So Wonder Woman's going to get that shot. So you're going to get more assists if you have speed because there's going to be more opportunities for that advanced attack to launch. So not to mention you've got some damage here with this basic, which for tanks, not really doing much for that damage. It's really about taking damage. But this assist here, so Wonder Woman going off additional assists, I think is great. So I think that's really where speed comes into play. So I've got down for Lex HP and speed. The reason for HP is because his shields are based off his max HP. So you want to keep his HP up there as high as possible. Constantine, so crit, damage dealer, I went with crit. And then you've got attack and speed. So either or, really, depending on what you want. If we take a look at his kit, he doesn't have an advanced attack. All he has, not all he has, he's a great character. He's got 2 passives, but all he has is a basic and an ultimate. So his basic attacks an enemy with pyrokinesis, dealing superpower damage. So if you have speed on there, he's going to attack with his basic much quicker. Obviously, ultimates too, because as you get more turns on in each round, then you're going to have more opportunity there to launch your ultimates as well. It also helps with filling that bar much quicker as well to launch off your ultimate. So you can. For me, I think for him, I prefer, what do I have him in right now? Yeah, I've got him in attack crit right now. That was before I did all the crit testing, so I'm probably going to swap this around. I do want to do some additional testing with him as well, just to make sure that it works on more than just the few characters I've tested. So I will continue to do some testing there. But that's where I have him crit and attack speed. For Nightwing, I've got him for block and HP. He is a massive tank with the block. There's a lot of investment that goes into block. I think for him, when you take a look at the block set, here's what I'm looking at for him. I'm looking at anything that gives me a subset of block here. So I've got a 4-piece block, but I've got block on this piece right here. I've also got, I think I've got block over here. Yeah. So I've got him in this attack, not HP over here. I've got him in attack because I've got this block right here. And then I've got this block here also. So I'll be looking for that for an HP set for him, but this is working fairly well. It just gives me quite a bit of block for him. And then obviously I'm working on his emblem, which is going to help with that as well. All right, what else do we have? Green Arrow we talked about. Zatanna. All right, so Zatanna, speed and attack on her. If we go ahead and take a look at her kit, the reason for that, now she is pure support, right? So when we take a look at what she has a basic attack and an advanced attack. This passive is great because when Zatanna is present, all allies gain that lifesteal, which is absolutely awesome. That's what you use her for. But right here, grants all allies 1 stack of strong attack for 2 turns. Also grants 2 stacks of frantic to the ally with the highest attack. So the more often you can get this going, this is why speed is good. So 4P speed. You're going to have more opportunities to get those buffs, right? This other one here does some damage. Not really too interested in that. Every little bit of damage count helps, but it's really this right here, these buffs that you want. So if you can get her to go twice in 1 round with that, I think that's pretty cool. So that's why I have her down for speed and attack there. The attack really is just because her damage is based off her attack. Flash, we have crit and speed. Damage dealer, speed. This guy is an animal. Check this out. Let me just go to, I don't have him, but based on his kit here, let's see. So look at this. If we've got this, he's got these attacks here that are going to go more often. He's also got this here, dashes forward at high speed and attacks all enemies 3 times. So he's got these attacks that go as well. And I think these 2 over here, these are passives. He's got a lot of increased attack, which is really cool. But I think speed works really well for him. So speed and attack, no, crit and speed for him. And then Deathstroke, we got crit and speed. I think for him, all-out damage dealer. And then as far as speed goes, he just has a lot of damage in his basics, and I think that's going to help him dish out more damage there. Hal was a little different because Hal, he does damage, but I don't have crit first because if we go into his kit, check this out. We go to Hal's kit. It's this one here specifically. Swings a sword to attack an enemy target, dealing superpower damage equal to 85% of attack power, and grants himself a shield that absorbs damage equal to 40% of his attack power for 2 rounds. That's why I put attack as a 4-piece set rather than the crit attack, because that more attack that he has is going to give him more shield here, and I think that's going to be helpful. So that's why I have him in that. Kid Flash, we already talked about heal and attack. Grodd, we got block and HP. He's a tank. Superman, speed and block. This guy's got a lot going on if you have him. So block, obviously, he's a tank. But speed, damage here. Let's see what else. Damage here as well. Attacks an enemy with the highest attack with a freezing breath. So you go up against Wonder Woman or somebody else who has high attack, like Constantine or Green Arrow as well. More opportunities for this stuff to launch, the better. And then he's got some nice passives there. So speed, definitely helpful in the game. Let's see, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, I put block and speed on him, and the reason for that is because, and I don't have the guy here either, but this is what I'm thinking. This is how my brain works. Let's go to Blue Beetle. Block, obviously, because he's a tank, but we have this right here. Adds 1 stack of weaken for 2 turns and hits a target twice, dealing superpowered damage. So the weaken, and then you've got this too. Attacks an enemy at the highest crit rate. So this is a nice counter to like Wonder Woman and Green Arrow and everybody who's got high crit, which is pretty much every DPS character out there, dealing superpower damage, but also gaining firm stand. So more opportunities for these attacks and buffs to go off and land as well. And then, let's see, Two-Face. Penguin, we'll save Two-Face for last. I got Penguin, HP, and speed. The reason for that is that has to do with right here. Let me just go back over to him really quick. I've got awful gear on him right now. I am working on him, so don't judge. Where is he? He's here. Mr. Birdman. Skills. His ultimate here. Summons birds to attack enemies in the back row, dealing superpower damage equal to a percent of his attack, and healing himself for 15% of his max HP. So that's why I have him in HP. Right here, HP. And then as far as speed goes, what I liked was this right here specifically. Raises his umbrella to protect himself, increasing defense by 100% while it's up and granting 30% damage reduction to the back row. So you've got speed on him. He's going to launch this attack, his advanced attack, off more often. If you get that off, you know, a couple times a round or every couple times every few rounds, definitely helps your back row and protect your back row. So that's why I have him in HP and speed. Two-Face, a little bit different. So we've got front and back, right? He serves two different functions. Up front, that's what the F is. Up front, I have him in block for a 4-piece and HP for a 2-piece because he needs to withstand the damage coming in. That's for survivability. And then for the back, I've got attack and speed. That's mainly based off his skills, being based off his attack. And then obviously with the speed, being able to launch his basic. I think it's a basic. Let's go to his kit here really quick. Yeah, because these, so we got a couple ones here, right? We've got his advanced attack and his basic. That inflicts silence and bleed, so that's going to be able to go off more often. And in the back row, also the attack, no, I'm not in the back row, but in the dual pistols, the basic attack, being able to attack multiple times and cause that bleed as well. So speed, I think, is good for him. So there we go. That's kind of a quick rundown, maybe not so quick. It's kind of a long video, but that's kind of how I'm approaching gear. Hopefully this is helpful. This piece here, like I said, the A+ to S+, I'm going to put a snapshot of that on my Discord if you want to check it out. And then I'll be working through the rest of these characters and be able to complete it. This book actually is working out pretty good. It's looking good. It's not ready to share yet. Everybody's been asking. I've got a few things. I always come up with more and more things that I want to add to it, like this whole gearing piece. As you can see, I've got some emblem information coming, as well as some artifact information coming. There's just a lot of stuff in this game and a lot of things to consider when you build up your teams and your rosters. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Definitely let me know. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.